Okay, hello folks. Welcome to today's Booking.com Power Up workshop. So today we have Emily Tussick here from Booking.com, from the account management team. Thank you so much for joining us, Emily. And we also have Andrew Schorr from our own product team. So today's session, we are going to be going through a few reasons why you should be using Booking.com to promote your properties, and some tips and tricks on how to get the most out of Booking.com. Also, some guidance on what we have coming soon with our Booking.com integration and what we've already delivered. So I'm going to mostly be backstage today. We have a few people helping out in the chat. So if you have any questions throughout, please do feel free to ask them in chat. We'll also try and leave some time at the end to do some Q&A where we actually answer the questions live on stage. So please go ahead and say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from, and we'll get started. I'm going to hand over to you, Emily.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Miles. And thank you, Hospitable, for having us. We're excited to share how Hospitable and Booking.com are working together to help you grow your vacation rental business. Travelers increasingly seek diverse accommodation options beyond traditional hotels. Booking.com caters to this demand by offering a wide array of vacation rentals from cabins in the Rockies to beach houses in Florida, urban apartments in New York, and desert retreats in Arizona. This broad appeal means your vacation rental listings are exposed to a massive audience. For property managers, this means access to tools and services designed to help you scale your business, promote your properties efficiently, and ultimately increase your bookings and revenue. We're not just a booking platform, we're a growth engine for you. Vacation rentals now represent 1/3 of room nights booked globally on Booking.com, and we have welcomed over 1.8 billion vacation rental guests. The demand is here and it continues to grow. In 2025, 800,000 vacation rentals earned a traveler review reward. This demonstrates the quality within the vacation rental segment on Booking.com, building trust for both travelers and new partners. So Booking.com has a global footprint, and our strong presence means your properties are visible to both domestic and international travelers planning trips. Guests often come to our platform with a destination in mind rather than a specific accommodation type. This means your listings get exposure to travelers who might not have considered a vacation rental at first, but are open to it once they see the option. In fact, 1 in 3 travelers end up booking a vacation rental on our platform, and we're consistently one of the most downloaded travel apps in the world. This means more eyes on your listings, more bookings, and ultimately more revenue for you. Our marketing engine works hard so you don't have to. We advertise your listings on major search engines like Google and Bing in 45 different languages, and we invest in both global and local campaigns. This drives consistent demand throughout the year, plus you gain access to our genius loyalty customers filled with repeat travelers who often start their search on Booking.com. And 45% of hosts on our platform receive a booking within just 1 week of listing. Our ad campaigns are some of the most visible in the industry. So I don't know if anyone saw our 2025 Super Bowl ad featuring the Muppets, but it had over 95 million views on YouTube and 165 million on TikTok. So this kind of exposure translates to massive awareness and traffic to our platform and ultimately to your properties. But we're not just on TV. We're deeply integrated into cultural moments. In fact, we're the long-term presenting sponsor for Major League Baseball. This means more inspired travelers booking your properties for unique and memorable trips. Booking.com is continuously investing in technology to launch exciting new features to enhance the vacation rental experience for both guests and hosts like you. So going into some exciting new features that we are launching, AI-powered search. So this is a game changer for your future guests. Travelers can use natural and conversational language like, I want a house close to the beach, good for families and our dog with air conditioning, to find properties. This means your detailed property amenities become even more valuable, and it's always a great best practice to detail any and all amenities that you have. If you accurately list amenities like air conditioning or pet friendly, your properties will show in the search results, leading to better matched bookings for you. Booking.com uses AI to translate conversational searches into smart filters. So this presents the most relevant properties to travelers. Booking.com will highlight your property's unique selling points and personalize that specifically to the traveler's search, making your listing stand out and help convert more lookers into bookers. Now shifting to what matters most to you, which is hosting with peace of mind. So we built features that give you more control over who books your property, how to communicate with them, and how to manage any unexpected issues. You'll have better insight into who's booking with tools like verified guest profiles coming later this year and currently being piloted in the United States. This will be a great supplement to our existing features like setting expectations with house rules, having access to guest travel history, and verified email and payments when using payments by booking. So while Booking has traditionally been an instant booking platform, we realize that instant bookings may not be possible due to owner requirements or HOA rules. So you now have the ability to use request to book functionality, and we're continually making improvements to it. Coming in 2026, you'll be able to require pre-authorization with any booking requests. If you receive a request to book from a guest who uses an iOS device, you can communicate with the guest before accepting their booking request. And we're continually developing and plan to roll out to both Android and website bookings later this year. So this development can help you screen guests more efficiently, giving you greater control over your listings. Hosting can definitely come with some risk, and we have you covered. So currently we have liability insurance up to $1 million per reservation and different damage protection options for you to choose from. We're super excited to announce that we will soon also include $1 million in damage insurance to give you even more peace of mind. These protections give you confidence in every guest stay on Booking.com. So you're in control with payments by booking, easier finances and more secure cash flow, making your life a lot easier. Payments by booking in partnership with Stripe gives you guaranteed payments and fraud protection. It also offers guests the choice to pay with whichever method they prefer. So Apple Pay, Klarna, or PayPal are just some of the guest options in addition to all major credit cards. This flexibility for guests increases your conversion rates. And as an added bonus, payments by booking is completely free to use for the remainder of 2025. So no credit card processing fees, no bank transfer fees. If you're enrolled in payments by booking, new properties are automatically onboarded. So this definitely simplifies your setup if you're growing your portfolio. We now also have group invoicing and reconciliation, making managing finances and paying invoices for an entire portfolio much easier. This saves you time and reduces any administrative headaches that come with processing payments and handling payments internally. So finding the right balance between restrictions and availability. Consider evaluating your restrictions for the right balance. So minimum stay rules. They can really boost your revenue per booking, but on the flip side, they can also limit your guest pool, especially for those shorter domestic trips that are so common in the US. And then longer stays. So longer stays are great for reducing turnover costs. However, keep in mind they can lead to frustrating unbooked gaps in your calendar. Where it makes sense, don't be afraid to maintain shorter minimum stays. This can help you capture more bookings, especially for travelers looking for a quick getaway. I strongly recommend using Hospitable's dynamic pricing tools to manage your availability and restrictions efficiently. This ensures your listings are always optimized and ready to go. It's easy to get started with Booking.com by publishing your listings through Hospitable's interface. And as an added perk, we have some features to help you get your listings get results quickly when you join the platform. So as I mentioned earlier, 45% of hosts get their first booking within 1 week on the platform. Booking.com converts review scores from other trusted platforms, giving new listings an immediate credibility boost. Your listings will have a new to Booking.com label. This helps new listings gain visibility in their first 90 days, and it helps attract early bookers to your properties. Your listings also automatically get a ranking boost in search results for the first 90 days on our platform. These features help new listings overcome the cold start problem and quickly help you establish a presence on Booking.com. So now just to do a quick recap of everything that I went through. So peace of mind for hosts, enhanced guest verification, pre-booking messaging, and damage protection offer greater security and control for you. Innovative technology drives growth. So with new Gen AI search and smart filters, make your property more discoverable and personalized for travelers. Optimizing for success. So utilize Booking.com and Hospitable's tools to manage availability and restrictions dynamically to help you maximize bookings and revenue. Streamline your finances with payments by Booking, which offers fraud protection and guaranteed payouts for you. Booking.com is your growth partner. So Booking.com is committed to helping vacation rental businesses thrive by providing the platform, marketing, and tools you need to succeed. And then lastly, when using Booking.com, you can reach a global audience. We market your property at scale in 45 languages and through our many affiliate partners to maximize your exposure. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Andrew on the Hospitable side, and then we'll hopefully have some time for some questions.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thank you, Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We do have time for questions, so please get them in, and we'll get to them after a few remarks from myself. But first, I would like to ask you all a question. So Miles is going to drop a quick survey into the program here, and just to understand how many of you are already listed on Booking.com and how many of you have not made the jump yet, so we can understand that, and yeah, maybe adjust the Q&A a little bit depending on how many of you are already listed or not. I'll give you a minute to do that. And just some quick comments on Emily's remarks, sorry. Because I was just in Amsterdam for the Click event with Booking.com, which is when they bring a lot of their partners in May of this year. And they had recently launched the AI search. And one of the learnings they shared in that event of what they weren't expecting to find out is that they learned a lot about how guests search for amenities, because the only option before that was for people to check boxes in the filters to say, okay, filter on a swimming pool, etc. What they learned is that hot tub is an incredibly popular amenity in search, and they only found that out when they added the AI search. So just driving home the importance of having your amenities filled out and being able to find out like which ones actually drive search traffic for you can increase your bookings a lot. And so we're doing things with this. One thing we're using AI for now at Hospitable is we're processing all of your photos and tagging them with metadata so they can appear in those search results. Because the other thing that Booking.com has started doing is, depending on the search terms, they'll actually choose your primary image. So if someone is searching potentially for a hot tub and you have one and we've tagged it with AI because we recognize it as a hot tub in the photo, you have a much higher chance of appearing in those search results because it's a relevant result to share with the guest. So that's a nice like success message of something that just wasn't possible maybe 6 months ago even. That's possible today. And then, yeah, I think the next thing that we've been talking about doing with AI on the photo side is being able to actually identify the amenities and populate them for you when you're setting up a new property. That's not available today, but something that we hope to do soon. Miles, is that survey happening? I don't think I can see it on my side.
Yeah, so that's closed now. So we had 54% saying yes, they are listed, and 46% saying no.
Well, that's a pretty good mix. Fantastic. Cool. And then one last comment I wanted to make from Emily's talk was, yeah, on the restrictions. I think that's something where you definitely want to be in our town hall next Wednesday, talking about midnight stay management and the gaps between maybe those long stay bookings like she mentioned. We're going to have some interesting things to share. So please join us same time next week for our town hall, where we're going to be talking about dynamic pricing and some new features there. So I'm going to talk very practical terms for a couple minutes here. Just if for those of you, the 46% that aren't on Booking yet, where we are now with that process, we made it a lot easier. We now have a new way to basically connect with Booking. Those of you that were using Hospitable before and are already connected, you might have done the previous way, which is to import a listing, which is still available. So if you go to connect an account in Hospitable and you have existing listings already on Booking.com, you can import those into Hospitable. That's fine. And then you merge and match, right? So you merge those into your property with your other Booking platform listings, and you can have now your Booking listing connected Hospitable. That's the import process. The newer process we have is actually creating a listing from Hospitable. So when you already have a listing on another Booking platform, you can directly create it. And this is like a 2-minute process to technically get a account registered on Booking.com. If you don't have one yet, you don't need to set one up. We'll create it for you. We will then create your listings on Booking for you. And then you just have a couple steps to do that we can't do in the process yet. We're trying to work on that. You're going to get a contract emailed from Booking. So look out for that in your email. You have to sign that contract before we can go open and bookable on your Booking.com listing. And the other thing you should set up very soon after that is the payments. So if you want to use payments by Booking, you should then, in the account we created for you, or if you already had one, you can log in with that same account. Make sure that your payments are set up so that we can take payments on your behalf. We're not able to set those up for you just yet, so that's a super important step. Sign the contract, and then go into the Booking.com extranet, log into your account there, and set up your payments so you can have the payment collection automated for you. Obviously, like Booking has a big history with hotels. A lot of hotels like to take payments on site, and so that's not what most of you are looking for. Most of you are expecting to have payments automated. You do have to set that up. So just flagging that for our hosts. Otherwise, the managing and updating of listings, we're doing some of that for you. We're kind of in this in-between state now where if you've been attending our town halls, like this year is about Hospitable becoming a full service property management solution, a full service PMS, where we are the source of truth for your listings data. We are not that yet. So we're in this in-between state, which is unfortunately not a super great place to be for you. It can be confusing about where to edit content. Some of that is on Hospitable. So your pricing and availability, your calendar settings, these are all managed on Hospitable. We flag here that pet fees are not part of that process. Pet fees aren't really possible on Booking.com as like part of the booking process. We don't know how many pets are traveling. That's something that you do need to manage off platform, meaning if you charge a pet fee, you need to flag that in conversations with your guests and make sure that you collect that in a different way. So I think we'll be looking at ways in our guest portal on a booking on the Booking.com platform where we can help you facilitate that pet collection on the guest portal. So we'll have more to announce on that later. Property details, so things like your house rules, maximum occupancy, etc., facilities, amenities. Those are things that we will set for you when we create your listing. If we create a listing for you, all those things will be set. We're not currently sending updates just yet. That's part of that listings management process that we're going through now. And we'll start to make that very clear in the product with a Booking.com icon, whether or not we're sending that to Booking. So you can edit those settings. You'll look for the Booking.com icon in the product and you'll see what we are editing. The photos, like we say here, we will send whatever is in your Hospitable property when we create the listing. We're not currently syncing any additions that you make later after the fact. You have to do those in booking.com now. I hope to have that resolved very soon, and you can manage them in one centralized place, and we can help give your time back there instead of having to log into different platforms to manage it. We know that's not what you want. We need to centralize that, and hopefully we can do that for you very soon. Other extranet settings, I already flagged this in the creation. You need to manage your payments and everything on the extranet. We just don't have the capability to do that now. So once you create that listing from Hospitable, sign the contract, and then just go check out that your payments are set up in the way that you anticipate them to be on the extranet. Last things I want to share. So I'm in Amsterdam right now, which is booking.com headquarters. I'm normally based in Italy, but we brought a lot of the team to headquarters. So here's a photo from today, actually yesterday. We were here for a 2.5-day workshop, looking at how we can do better to help you guys perform better on booking.com, have an easier process to manage your content. And booking.com has been great about giving us access to all of the different teams that are involved in this. And they spent 2.5 days with us doing all kinds of different things. So let's look at that, what we kind of learned in this seamless workshop that we were a part of. So making things seamless, the idea is you don't need to go into booking.com's extranet. You're working with us as your channel manager, as your property management solution, and Booking wants you to be able to rely on us. And it's not 100% yet. So we looked at that. We audited everything we're doing now to make sure that we're getting the right data that you have in our system into Booking system. We spent a lot of time just designing and ideating on what is the ideal connection flow. We're not there yet. We think we get the job done mostly, but we can always do better. We always say here that no feature is ever complete for Hospitable. So we spent a lot of time mocking up what the best flows are to make that make sense for you, how we can use AI in new and creative ways to make that an easier flow. Those of you that are property managers, one thing that we're looking at even a little bit more distant in the future is how, when you are onboarding one of your new customers, one of your new owners to Hospitable, how we can make them, what part of the process of creating a new listing we can bring them in and save you time and have the owner kind of be collaborating in the process of creating their property on your Hospitable account and then syndicating those listings for you. So that's going to be a huge time save once we get there. We exchange feedback on improvements for both platforms. So any pain points that we feel from you, that we hear from you hosts, because we often, I think, spend a lot of time with you and know what issues you might run into with your own management of booking.com, and we pass that feedback on to them. We advocate on your behalf, and they listen. We sat down with senior directors at Booking and made sure that they heard your feedback, and they were happy to hear it, and they want to improve on things that just aren't quite perfect yet as well. And then we learned about one thing that I think will be very actionable from tonight's topic is there is brand new payment onboarding capability coming, which will help us set up those payments that I kind of flagged. When you do create a listing, make sure you get your payment set up, because we can't do that. We will be able to do that very soon. So we're going to be one of the first partners with Booking to be working on this brand new capability in the next 2 weeks. We're going to start that as it gets released. We often the other access that we had early was the request to book flow that Emily mentioned, and the messaging capabilities. That's brand new functionality from booking.com. And because of our premier status and how close we work with Booking, we were able to get you guys some of the first to market access to that functionality based on our tight working relationship with Booking. So that's been great to see that we can continue to kind of, as new capabilities come to market, we can get those integrated into Hospitable as quickly as possible. So taking a breath, I know I talk too fast, I'm sorry. We can bring up anything that I've glossed over too quickly in the Q&A. What we're building next, I've alluded to some of these things, but the journey to Hospitable being the source of truth for all your listings content, that is something that we are really trying to get done this quarter. I think we're going to start in the fee section. We're going to then start a new section called Booking Policies. There are some good opportunities there. Emily was talking about what can make your listing perform better on booking.com. Having a non-refundable cancellation policy option where the guest has the choice to make on a flexible policy or a cheaper option to book non-refundable everyone knows on every booking channel. We share this on direct, I think in the previous town hall, that it's an 18% lift. That's the most recent data we had over the last 30 days. Direct booking listings on our platform that have a more flexible policy versus non-refundable, 18% more bookings, almost 20%. 1 in 5 guests are going to actually churn if you have a non-refundable policy. So you have to work that much harder to drive your business. If we offer both, that is the best mix. So we're going to try and get that done very soon in the new booking policy section in your properties on Hospitable, and also allow you to manage your instant book or request to book functionality. We know a lot of you appreciate having the ability to kind of have a conversation with the guest before they book in that request to book mode. It's not as highly performant for you though as instant book. Instant book will drive generally more bookings for you. It is a more performance setting. Right now we're creating all booking.com listings as a request to book. That's not great. We need to give you the choice when you're ready, when you're comfortable, when you're confident to opt into instant book. If you want to do that now, you can contact our support team and they will upgrade your listings for you. But that's not a great path. We realize that. We're going to make that possible to do from the platform. The next thing, when we get that kind of listings management project done in a great place where we're the source of truth for all your listings, that allows us to create net new properties. Like we stay in the industry from you, this is a property that doesn't yet exist on any booking platform. So when you add something to your business, you can create it directly from Hospitable. That's not possible today. We kind of ride the coattails of other booking platforms, say, okay, you're connected on this booking platform. Now we have a property in Hospitable. Now we can create a booking.com listing. We'll make that easier to do directly from Hospitable so we can automate more of that and really save you more time. The third thing is something that we're working on all the time, but we're never done at, is we want you to feel like when you connect a listing to Hospitable, we actually deliver better performance for you. So it's some of the things we talked about just now, right? So the best cancellation policies to get you the right balance of protection for you and performance on search results, right? Sending those metadata tags of your photos to booking.com so they're able to feature your properties in relevant search results. Those are the kind of things that we can do as a platform and share with you. These are the lessons we've learned. This is the data that we're seeing. These are the kind of things. We want to be actually very active when you're setting up a property to help you get into a configuration that is the most performant configuration for you. And that's a lot of what we were talking about with the booking.com team this week while we worked through workshops, is how do we help take an opinion and share that data with you and get you into a place where your listings are really going to excel. Like we have heard just like completely different feedback, especially for like the US based hosts who are the majority of our customers, on what booking.com can do for their business, because we have people telling us they're doing 30% of their bookings now as a US host on booking.com. 30% of their overall business is coming there. That is, you know, we weren't hearing that 6 months, 12 months, 2 years ago. Booking.com has been investing a lot in the US market, and that's great for our hosts. And like Emily said, a third of their bookings now are what they call the home segment, short-term rentals, vacation rentals. That's a big thing for a platform that used to be focused mainly on hotels. A third of the business is now what you guys have, and that inventory is the home segment, the apartments, the vacation rentals, etc. So lots of things to be excited about, and that's all the remarks I have. I think we can now kind of move into the Q&A section.
Cool. I'll jump back on stage. So thank you very much, both of you, Emily and Andrew. We do have plenty of questions in the chat, so I'm going to do my best to summarize and pull out all of those questions that haven't already been answered. So starting off with a question around protecting hosts. So there was a good one in terms of, let me just find the exact question, but essentially asking if booking.com plans to start verifying the identity of bookers instead of relying on hosts to do that, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will have guest verification released later this year. We're really excited about it. And you'll be able to match your policies to to specific criteria. So I only accept verified guests. Right now, if you're using payments, you can see verified phone number, verified email address, and if they agree to your house rules. If you're not using payments, and you're able to see like when the guest joined booking.com, how many stays they've had, if they've previously stayed with you, if they've ever been reported for misconduct, or if they've had a no-show before in the past. So this is only improving, and we definitely hear you, hear our hosts, that this is something that we need to improve on, and we've taken all of that feedback. So we're really excited for guest verification. While I don't have a definitive date, I do know that it will be released before the end of the year. It's expected this quarter. So just make sure that you have your email up to date. So once that's fully rolled out, you'll get the notification when the more robust guest verification is rolled out.
Yeah, and Stephen, that's something where we can make some improvements as well. So in addition to the things that Emily mentioned, like we have access to some of that data, and we can share that in the guest profiles section of the inbox. So you have that right there where you need it. The other one that came up in the Seamless workshop this week was showing like the Genius program status. So if they are in that program, that's obviously a pretty strong trust signal that they're, a repeat booker. It's not some, fraudulent some guest. So there's some of those trust signals. We'll be getting those into the guest profile as soon as we can, so you can see that in the inbox and have a bit more trust there before the full identity verification comes online. And we'll definitely, if there's anything that needs to happen on our side for that, we will definitely be like first in line with the partners to make sure that you guys have access to that in Hospitable.
Cool, awesome, thank you, Andrew. Okay, there was a few questions around taxes, and basically asking, will Booking.com be moving towards collecting and remitting local state taxes for hosts in the near future?
Yeah, so currently, regardless if you're using payments by Booking or not, you still remain the merchant of record. However, where it's legally required, we are beginning to remit taxes. But right now, that's only where it is a legal requirement. So this is great feedback if this is something that everyone is asking for, so I can share that with our product team.
Yeah, and from our side, Lee, we are planning to release our own payment solution as well that you could use by choice. And we're trying to basically replicate what we've done on Direct Premium, where we are remitting taxes now, and I don't know, maybe 13 different states. We're trying to get to 50 by the end of the quarter, I think, and keep expanding that where we see the most demand for that tax solution. We can replicate a lot of that into Booking. We're doing that right now with another booking platform that shall not be named. But yeah, we'd love to offer you a solution that works the same way that you're using Direct Premium now, and that would be another option. If we support you there, we could support you potentially as a payment solution for booking and remit taxes on your behalf.
Good stuff. Okay. Kristen had a question here around damage protection and whether that is something that Booking helps with. Supposedly on the extranet, it does say that Booking will support hosts to regain damages, but they've struggled to get support with that in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently we have two different damage and security options for hosts. So you can choose your own policy where you're collecting a deposit up front and then returning it to the guest if there is no damage. And then we also have a damage policy that's facilitated by Booking.com's end. So if you're enrolled in payments by Booking, you can sign up for a Booking.com facilitated damage policy. And how that works is within 14 days of checkout, you would submit that evidence, and then we would work with the guest to then remit that damage payment request to you. We realize, and we've taken a lot of feedback, that there are definitely some improvements that can be made to this. So the $1 million per reservation in damage protection insurance that's also being rolled out later this year will definitely offer an extra layer of security for our hosts. This is going to be automatically included, so there's nothing that you're going to have to do to sign up for this. It'll be very similar to Air Care. And you, once you're enrolled in this, there's no extra charge to use the damage insurance. It'll just automatically be included. So in addition to that liability insurance, you'll also have damage protection insurance And then something I would also recommend, I saw a lot of questions come up regarding payments and host protections. If you're not already enrolled in payments by booking, I would definitely highly, highly suggest getting enrolled, because with payments, all the payments are guaranteed and we facilitate the payment and we verify the payment. So in the case of a cancellation, if a guest cancels when they're outside of a free cancellation window, we are still remitting that payment to you, as well as with no-shows. And then something great about payments by booking, if you've dealt with one chargeback in your hosting career, you know how much of a headache it is. So when using payments, regardless if the guest is successful or not, booking.com still pays out. So if a guest attempts a chargeback after they stay, you as a host wouldn't even know about it, because we'll handle that directly with the guest and we'll pay you out for that reservation regardless if the guest is successful in the chargeback or not. We've also found that partners who are using payments have on average a 14% decrease in cancellations and an 83% decrease in no-shows. So definitely a great way to add another layer of protection for you.
Okay. And Emily, just to rehash to make sure that everyone got that. So there's two different kind of protections. One of them is in place now, which is the $1 million, euros, or pounds of liability. And that's to protect, that's like personal liability of if a guest is injured on the property, right?
Correct. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Right now it's just liability insurance, but the damage insurance will be later this year. And that will definitely be a game changer, because we have consistently gotten that feedback. So we're very excited to have the damage insurance as in addition to the liability insurance.
Okay, and the liability that's present now, there's nothing that anyone has to do to set that up. That's just included in every single reservation that's booked on the platform. When it comes to the damage protection, then, is that something that needs to be set up? You said they need to be using payments by booking for that to be provided. Is that true? And you said there's no charge.
Yeah. So no, they don't need to be using payments by booking for the damage insurance. And it will just, once it's rolled out, it'll automatically be included. Each reservation will be protected. So just make sure you have your updated contact information. So when we do our release, you'll be able to see that and have assurance that there's nothing that you need to do to go set that up. It will automatically be included, and a great supplement to some of the tools that we already have.
Okay. And you talked about security deposits, and that's something that we have a solution for now recently in Hospitable as well, which is available on booking.com reservation. So if you do want us to be collecting a security deposit through the guest portal, that's something you can also set up in Hospitable today.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. I feel like I've peppered Emily with plenty of questions. So Andrew, I think I'll find one specifically for you. So at the moment, Hospitable is not able to reply back to inquiries from booking.com. Is that something that's going to be possible in the near future?
Yeah, so let's see, inquiries separate from request to book. I'm not sure, because I think inquiries and request to book are kind of the same thing. This might be a little bit out of my depth, actually. Can we bring?
Should we phone a friend?
Yeah, can we bring an engineer maybe? Are we talking about something other than request to book here, Hakan?
If we are talking about request to books, we're able to enable messaging for them if the messaging is also enabled on bookings end. So as Emily mentioned, if it's coming from an iOS device or one of the test Android devices, we are able to enable the messaging for you. But also this inquiry could be referring to what we call special requests that come from booking.com from the guests. Special requests are not available in our messaging system right now, but Booking recently introduced it to their systems, to their APIs. So we will be introducing them very soon to our system as well.
Okay. I hope that answers Sukrit's question.
Sukrit, let us know in the chat if that answered your question.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. If it is request to book, we're up with the latest capabilities that are available to us.
Awesome. Okay, Sweet. So another question is around the cancellation policy. So Yuri said the cancellation process is the hardest thing in Booking.com. How are you addressing it? They find it complicated to get verified in order to do a cancellation with a rep on the phone. It's the best process there. A host wants to do a cancellation.
I think that's for booking, right? I think it's not like Hospitable can help you manage the cancellation policy, but we can't help you cancel a reservation.
Yeah, I think that one is for Emily.
Yeah, so I would need a little more details on this, but how I'm understanding it is if you're facilitating payments on your end, and a guest has an invalid credit card, how that would work is you would report it on booking.com. We would then give the guest 24 hours to update their credit card. And if they don't update to a valid payment method within 24 hours, you can cancel the reservation through an automated process. If there is something else, like as far as them not agreeing to your house rules, you would then go into the extranet and message booking.com and say, this guest did not agree to my house rules. Can you please help me cancel the reservation? And they would be able to help you cancel that. I definitely recommend sending a message rather than calling if it is not something that you need immediate assistance with, because you'll likely get because it can be handled through the extranet. It just makes it a little bit easier for you rather than waiting on the phone to speak with someone.
Okay, makes sense. I think maybe one more for you, Andrew. So instead of setting minimum stay, one could control such situations, tongue twister, with a higher price combined with a discount starting at 3 nights, for instance. Unfortunately, currently, Hospitable does not allow any particular length of stay discount besides weekly and monthly discounts. Are we going to be adding more flexibility on length of stay discounts?
Yeah, I haven't verified what all we can do with Booking.com. We do have length of stay discounts now, flexible length of stay discounts. We've only done them for another booking platform. We don't have them yet working with Booking.com. So I don't know if Hakan, have you looked into this at all? I had to put you on the spot again, but yeah, like the UI is there in our product right now. If you're using rule sets, that's one way you can interact and put specific length of stay discounts on specific nights. Otherwise, in the property section, you will see now a length of stay discount option. I believe that's rolled out to everyone. It's not still in like just for the beta users, but there's definitely a lot of action happening here for the guests that asked this question. And one of the things that we do next is make this available wherever it's supported. So that's what I don't have the answer for right now, is if we can do those on booking.com or not. Maybe someone else knows the answer to that. We're going to make those work on direct as well. They're not working on direct, they're just on one booking platform, because that's how we work. You know, we release the functionality as soon as it's helpful, and then we make it better and improve it. We lost.
I think I'm still here, but you, for some reason, you can't see me anymore.
Okay.
Okay. There's definitely a few more questions in the Q&A. Okay. I'm back, apparently. So there's a question from Michael around security deposits on Hospitable, how much they cost and how they work, Andrew.
Yep. So at Hospitable, we are charging you 2% for the security deposit management, but there's no additional fees. So if you do have a claim and you have to keep that, we're just charging a flat 2%. We do have to, like, we got on our side, like, we're doing a mix of either authorizing or collecting whenever we need to protect your booking. So you never have to go through the awkward thing of, like, if you're just using, like, I don't know, this is really complicated to explain, and I'm sorry I even started doing this, but like, security deposits are hard because ideally you don't want to collect that money, because collecting money by a credit card is expensive, right? You're looking at 3.5% or 3% if you've got, you know, a really good payment processor, just to collect any funds, only to return them on a security deposit. So what we've done is say, let's meet you guys halfway. We'll manage it through a combination of just authorizing funds when the reservation meets certain characteristics. Sometimes we need to actually collect the money because it's a longer stay or it's a different card type that doesn't allow the different authorizations. we wanted to save you the time and the hassle of doing that. If you look at other solutions on the market, they're going to make you go back to the guest during the stay and say, oh, your authorization expired. I'm going to need you to authorize again, which means you're going to have 2 authorizations at the same time, and your guest might not have enough credit on their credit card to do that, and that can be totally awkward and not a great guest experience. So we decided to optimize for guest experience, optimize for host experience, and that puts us in a very competitive price actually for a security deposit solution, which is 2% of the amount. And so you can set that up, and it's just going to run on autopilot for you. And when you make a claim and you actually get a payout, we're going to pay you out very, very fast. If it's a good claim, we need to protect you from abusing that program, because that can get your listing banned on different booking platforms. We'll put you in a good practice, and you won't pay anything additional when you need to actually get a payout there and protect yourself. That was a long answer to a short question.
That's good. Guest, it's a great name, asked, is it only 2% when you collect the payment, or for all of your bookings?
It's for all the bookings. So like when we're actually needing to collect for you, we're actually losing money on those. So we're basically taking a balance where instead of having a very complicated pricing thing to explain to you, it's just 2% whenever you do it. That's the cost basically for the program for us to manage it. We lose money on some, we make money on others, and it kind of balances out where this is not going to make us a ton of money as a company. This is just the cost of the program to make the best guest experience and the best host experience.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Emily, I think I've got a question for you here from Audrey. Is there a reason we can't write our own descriptions on booking.com?
Yeah. So that's a great question, Audrey. Booking.com's automated descriptions are based on the amenities you select. And the reason we do the automated descriptions is because we're translated into so many different languages, and there's certain words that might not be translatable between 2 languages. However, you do have the ability to put a property description in your own words, as well as a company profile. So how you would do that is on your listing, and you can find instructions for how to do this in the Partner Hub. But if you go to the property dropdown and then select your profile, you can put your company name, your logo. You can fill in an about the property section, as well as an about the company and an about the neighborhood. So in addition to getting bookings from booking.com, this is also potentially a great way to increase your direct bookings, because you're able to directly market your company with your name, and also put your property description in your own words. So again, if you want to add a custom free text property description and company profile, you would do that under the property dropdown and then by selecting your profile.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we do have a few more minutes. I see one more question from Stephen just popped up. But if anyone else does have any more questions, please do ping them in the chat. I think I've gone through the ones that we hadn't already answered in the chat and are on stage. So yeah, if I've missed it, please just quickly type it again, and we'll try and quickly answer it before the end of the session. Stephen had a question that not super specific to booking.com, I guess, but Hospitable, where can you find the states that you currently submit taxes for?
Yeah, so we did raise this when we talked about an upcoming Hospitable payment solution that could be available. So if you go to the help docs and you search taxes, you should find the article, and we've got a table there that shows you at which date in what jurisdiction we started collecting and remitting taxes for you. So you can check that at the help.hospitable.com and just search taxes, and you should find that article. It's a growing list. We're making good progress there.
Yeah, it's difficult to reel them all off from memory, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have any more questions just yet, but I'll leave it 30 more seconds. And thank you, Emily, for sharing your email for any questions in the chat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us.
No worries.
I learned a few things.
Okay, folks, we don't seem to have any more questions, so I think it's safe for us to wrap up there. But yeah, thank you so much to Emily, Andrew, Hakan for jumping on last minute.
Yeah,
very valuable. And thank you, everyone.
See everyone next week at the town hall.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.